Hello everyone, this is Nimish and today we're gonna do the review of the Malayalam movie Memories starring Prithviraj Sukumaran. Let's directly get into the analysis of the movie. I would like to begin by saying that the acting by Prithviraj was something else. I have not seen a performance like that because normally when you show alcoholics or dependents in a movie, they usually act like that when they are supposed to act like that, but when they are changing or improving, they change very suddenly and forget that they were alcoholics. So for example, in this movie it was very easy for Prithviraj as an actor to make a mistake while he was investigating the case, because he could have easily forgotten that he's a drunkard and just acted like a police officer, and the public wouldn't notice. No one would notice because he's investigating. But he never, at any point in the movie, forgot the fact that he's playing an alcoholic, and that to me is outstanding. Every little scene where he was even moving this much or just looking like that, was he was never left the soul of an alcoholic. So that to me is extremely difficult to do, and he has done it perfectly. So his acting is fantastic. Secondly, the whole movie is held together by only one man, Prithviraj, and his performance. Even if his performance was 20% below what he has done in this movie, I think this movie would have fallen apart. It is the sheer power of carrying a movie on his own shoulders that actually keeps this movie together. Now let's get into the movie as a whole. The movie opened with a song called Memories Never Die and a kind of slow motion action sequence. To me, this was very disturbing, I would say, because that song was a rip off of one of my favorite songs called Summer Wine. It's an English song. So to hear that song when a movie suddenly opens is in a different language or a different by a different music director is very, I was taken aback by that. But many songs are copied, so that's not an important point, and neither does it affect the rest of the movie, so that's cool. But I just felt I should mention it and let you guys know if you guys probably just like that song a lot or like that opening sequence. I really didn't feel that the music itself matched the sequence that was going on. So even as a choice of music, that wasn't the best track to be played in the opening scenes. Anyway, moving on. The first half, the first 50 minutes of the movie, I feel was very dragged. There was no need for it to be dragged so much. What they actually narrate in the first 50 minutes could have been done with in 15 or 20 minutes of the movie. Basically, what happens in the first half is that we are shown two murders that happen, and the police begins investigation and kind of comes to a dead end, and doesn't know how to progress before the third murder happens because the third man goes missing. So they are wondering what to do. On the other hand, there's Prithviraj's character who is introduced to us, who is an alcoholic, doesn't believe in God anymore, who has suffered a very terrible past of death of his wife and child. So he is shown to be this very depressed and given up on life police officer who just drinks all day, all night, and has nothing better to do in life and cannot cope with the grief. There were, I think, a couple of song sequences that depict how happy he was. I don't think that was necessary. It was just dragging the movie because we get the point, right? We are an intelligent audience and we have seen a depressed, dependent character in many movies before. So we don't need to be shown a lot of how happy someone was and how sad someone is now and how he doesn't even believe in God and how he doesn't even care for his family properly and who doesn't even do his duty or work. It's just too much, explanation given by the director. I feel that it could have been cut down a lot. The whole first half could have been dealt with in 15 to 20 minutes. So these two parallel stories are literally going parallelly for the first half, almost till the end of the first half where they converge. So I think that it felt like two different movies. The investigation part was very fast and racy, and you wanted to know what exactly is happening, who's being killed, who is the murderer, what clues they have. But on the other hand, Prithviraj's character would come in and slow things down and just mellow the movie and just make it like that. So until the end of the first half, nothing much happens at the point where Prithviraj comes into the investigation and starts stumbling upon one or two clues about the investigation, and that's when the investigation or the mystery part of it actually picks up and goes up a level higher. Now, in the second half, immediately when the second half started, there is a scene uh, where a train is passing and a guy with a hoodie or a raincoat is walking by, and the police officer tries to stop him, but then he disappears and then there's a body found. This whole scene, if you remember this scene, is exactly copied from a Korean movie called Memories of Murder. Now, I was seeing influences of Memories of Murder throughout the movie, but I didn't want to really relate the two movies because they are different movies with different stories. But until this scene came, I kind of knew that the director was very much inspired by Memories of Murder and he wanted to make his own film which felt like Memories of Murder. So, for those of you who get a chance to watch Memories of Murder, I think you should. The director is 100% definitely absolutely inspired by Memories of Murder because the feel of Memories for Murder is the same as Memories. And it's this is not just because of the title. The title I know is also a pretty common, Memories and Memories of Murder, but this is not because of that, just because of that. This is actually, if you watch both the movies, you shall know that the feel of the movie of being slow, burning, second by second, the movie is progressing. It suddenly gets hasty for a couple of scenes, and there's something interesting happening, and then zap for the next 10 minutes, it's going slow. So, the whole concept of how he's telling the story, including the location with the trains, the tunnels, the the field, the countryside, I would say, is kind of everything felt inspired by Memories of Murder, but the story is absolutely not. It is two completely different movies. All I'm trying to say is that this film, Memories, felt like it was purposefully slowed down in the narration because probably the director wanted his movie to feel like Memories of Murder for whatever reason. So it was probably purposefully slowed down in the narration, and I don't think that was required. As I said, the first half could have easily been pulled down to 15 to 20 minutes because we can understand what's going on. We don't need to be shown the same thing for 15 minutes about how complicated a person's life is and what he dealt with in the past. So the movie in the second half, although the mystery kicks in about the Bible and everything, it gets a little interesting for some time, but then again it's dragged out. And the main problem with the movie is that the progression is very slow. It's too slow. So although slow or fast is not a definition of a good or bad movie, but why is it slow? There should be a good enough reason, and that was something that I couldn't find. There was no reason for it to be so slow. There was no reason for it to have such a passive environment throughout the movie. So by the time we reach the suspense part of it and how they are finding out, you're just bogged down by of confusing storyline and too many characters having too many things to do, like the inspector who having an ego problem. All that was unnecessary, and things just by the time it's ending, you're just at least I'm not saying you, I or maybe some people, you really lose connect with the movie, because it's so slow and dragged. You just lose. You don't want to know who killed it by the end of it. I was like, whoever did it, man, just go ahead now. It's fine to reveal yourself, or just find out and tell us soon because I want to leave now. This is not happening. So it was a nice movie, but I think it was not paced well. It could have been tighter. There were a lot of unnecessary sequences. It was dragged out every time, and something was missing. So that's why at the start of the review, I said that the whole movie is held together by Prithviraj's performance. I cannot imagine this movie if the lead actor, whoever it would have been, if not Prithviraj or Prithviraj himself, did not do justice to the role or did some mistakes in the acting or did an over or under acting, then this movie would fall apart because then you would not even want to watch it for the acting. So This is a one man show. If you want to watch a movie of Prithviraj for his performance, I would recommend this because I have not seen too many of him. I'm sure there are better ones, but I, as of now, would recommend Memories because his performance is mind blowing. I hope you like this honest review of Memories, and if you liked it, then please like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more of such reviews and reactions. Thank you for watching. Take care.